Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another video after taking the last couple days off. Because quite frankly, I've been building so much value for every single one of you in the background behind the scenes that I've needed extra time in order to make sure things get completed so I could present it all to all of you. And after having taken the last couple days off to catch up on this work, I'm almost ready to release a free course that I've been working on for a while for every single one of you. It's a gift from me to the entirety of the XRP army. And I hope all of you enjoy it as we're sitting here about a couple weeks after we warned you right here on this channel that the Bitcoin ETF news would be a sell the news event. We have seen crypto pull back aggressively. I remember when I had Waters Above on this very channel telling all of you that alts were likely in store for one final pullback before we begin our moon mission. We are in the midst of that pullback and still likely have a little lower to go. But I'm here to reiterate the fact that 2024 is the most bullish year that crypto will give you. 2021 was a baby calf walk of a bull run relative to what we're about to experience. From the insiders I know, and from the people I talk to closely that are high-level sources in the crypto space, they anticipate 2024 into 2025 being a potential super cycle for crypto. And you're blessed enough here to be able to dollar cost average with your positions. Do not complain. Don't get impatient. Either wait with your positions that you have now or dollar cost average over the next couple weeks. We are in store for fantastic times, and you better not forget it. But in the meantime, I do have bad news going on with XRP right now. XRP is having some drama. And the XRP community, as some validator nodes are going offline. Short the FOMO and alloy networks are frankly shutting down their validators. And quite frankly, this will be a true test of how durable the XRP ledger is. Can these decommissioned nodes get replaced in time? Will the network health suffer? Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the builders and the true contributors for the XRP ledger awaken. And I would highly recommend a call to action to all developers, builders, and even peripheral XRP army members to start running your own validator node and help with the health of the XRP ledger. Now, guys, with that being said, I do not think this takes away from the overall good news that we've had with the ecosystem, as XRP addresses have nearly doubled, making a whopping 170% surge since 2020. My friends, this ecosystem is only getting larger, and when all these amendments passed, with all these new technologies coming in at XRP, I genuinely believe every single one of you will see the price action you've all been expecting. It's the chicken and egg scenario with XRP. Will the price come first and then the builders will follow? Or will the builders bring on new developments that'll make price surge? Let's see what happens first. Either way, the XRP army wins. That being said, my friends, we have to zoom out to the macro as Evergrande tilts its ugly head again. Evergrande will be dismantled in a big bang end to years of stumbles. And ladies and gentlemen, this might have a worldwide effect on global markets. I think the economy is genuinely weak, and we need a March 2020 style Black Swan event to be the excuse for why the market pulls back and why we need to drop interest rates. They are projecting potentially as early as March for the Fed to cut rates. And I think we're right on schedule for that level of a pullback to happen in that period in time. When they cut rates, a crash comes in the markets. The stock market is reaching new all-time highs, as simultaneously, the underlying metrics and fundamentals have never looked worse. That being said, my friends, know that all of our predictions about how this year specifically is going to go have been spot on, as Hester Pierce is confirming yet another one I made. I remember telling all of you the CFTC will be the main regulator for crypto a long time ago. And now, the SEC's very own Hester Pierce is confirming this. Gary Gensler destroyed the SEC's credibility, and the XRP case being won by us in just a few short months will be the final cherry on top.
Now we're in a bit of an awkward position because Congress has expressed a clear interest in stepping into this space and has suggested that maybe the SEC will not be the primary regulator for much of this stuff, and so it's a little bit harder to do now. But I think whatever we do or Congress does, the point should be, let's bear in mind what the objective is, which is to make sure there's enough information out there for people to make decisions about what they want to do, but also to preserve the ability of people to innovate and think about how to do things in new ways, not to try to force everything that's happening in the crypto world into the traditional finance mold, which is not necessarily the best mold for all of these things. So I hope that we'll turn over a new leaf in this area and take a fresh start.
And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Hester Pierce's hope is going unmet. The SEC is still playing their old dirty tricks. The SEC has pushed back BlackRock's spot Ether ETF decision. And ladies and gentlemen, remember the moment the Bitcoin ETF got approved. It was actually Ethereum that exploded 10% within an hour. That's because the front running of the market began. The price was already fulfilled for Bitcoin, and the ETF news was priced in. But then the Ethereum ETF speculation began. The first of several delays the SEC can employ has been executed for the Ethereum ETF. This has to happen within a 240-day period from when the SEC opened comments on the applications. In 2003, BlackRock filed an application with the SEC to convert its Ethereum trust to an ETF. And now, a final decision on all pending spot Ether ETFs, including BlackRock's, could come in May as the earliest final deadline out of all the participants. BlackRock, Invesco, ARK, VanEck, and Grayscale are among the firms in line for approval. And this 1-2 punch of a Bitcoin and Ether ETF legitimizing the space, along with XRP inevitably defeating the SEC 4-0, is coming for XRP. That will add increased credibility to the crypto market. And I guarantee you, trillions will flow in.
Let's talk about the top stories. The SEC is pushing back its decision on BlackRock's proposed spot Ethereum ETF. The reason for the delay? Well, in this filing from yesterday, the agency said it needs more time to review the proposed rule change. Now, this marks the first of several delays the SEC can employ before the regulator must announce a final decision for this ETF. That has to happen within a 240-day period from when the SEC opens comments on the applications. Late last year, BlackRock filed an application with the SEC to convert its Ethereum trust into an ETF. Now, a final decision on all pending spot Ether ETFs, including BlackRock's, could come in May, as that's the earliest final deadline out of all the applicants. That would be similar to the SEC's decision on all the spot Bitcoin ETF applications, which were approved all at once on January 10th. Now, BlackRock, Invesco, ARK, and VanEck are among the firms in line for approval for a spot Ether ETF, as well as Grayscale, which is seeking to convert its existing Ethereum trust into an ETF.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, while we're over here stuck in limbo, understanding that Bitcoin had its sell the news event with the ETF, understanding that an ETH ETF is likely to be approved this year as well, and that will be a sell the news event for Ether. We're here understanding that at around April, we're likely going to see the conclusion officially of this XRP case. We have a trifecta of bullish momentum for the top 3 digital assets on the planet. All while at the same time we are still in a pre-regulatory environment here in America. Ladies and gentlemen, the powers that be, the elites, the billionaire and multi-trillionaire power movers of the world, they don't want regulations in the crypto market yet, because then the fuckery wouldn't be allowed anymore. Guys, they're allowing some fuckery in this market to continue, because that is where maximum money is made. And these people will be a massive part of it. Regulation is coming. Hell, the framework is already set in stone in some of the biggest financial centers in the world, like Switzerland, Dubai, Singapore, the UK, and others. America will follow suit. But to cap off this video for today, please listen to this conversation between Jeremy Allaire from Circle and Sheila Warren, formerly at Ripple, on policy for digital assets. Sheila Warren calls out the US and says it's quite embarrassing we don't have basic policy yet. And I couldn't agree more. But here's the thing. As investors, this is where the ROI is made. When things are messy, where there's blood on the streets, but still extremely powerful fundamentals. We have it all. And that's why the XRP army will become the new 1%. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
It's kind of embarrassing that the United States is not able to do something here when it purports to be to try and drive things forward here. And we've been actively obviously talking about stablecoin legislation, right. Given USDC, but the fact that all of these other governments in the world are setting the laws for how dollars work on the internet is kind of insane.
And that's what's happening. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Well, and we're facing the ground truth of that negotiating with governments around the world. Yeah, but it would be really helpful if the agencies and the apparatus that's responsible for the way the dollar works in the world could get on board.
And I want to say that in a different way, because I think it is, people kind of see it and they're like, oh yeah. But really think about this, right? So you had Switzerland and Japan first to the table. Now, Japan, admittedly, that was after Mt. Gox, which was this big sort of tragic moment of theft, whatnot. So they felt the need to respond to that. Yes. But they put into place some sort of baselines. Switzerland, very early baselines. Right. To be fair, FinCEN in the United States, to the point you made earlier, 2013,
they were the first out the gate.
They were the first out the gate, right? Yeah. So we were right there with the early adopters as well.
I founded Circle because of the FinCEN. I was like, I can actually do this. It wasn't clear. Yeah. I was thinking about it, and then it's like, okay, there's a way to do this legally.
It gave you room to maneuver, right? And then. So in the meantime, you've had the EU, 27 member states. I mean, we cannot overstate how complicated it is.
600 pages of legislative text.
Yeah. That's the thing. They didn't even do a little thing. They did a massive thing. Yeah. Look, views on that. It's very complicated. Not all of it is. It's far from perfect. Nevertheless, the amount of coordination it takes to coordinate the EP, the EC, all the member states, to get that across the line. And here we are in the United States. It's like, what's going on, folks?
Yeah.
It is, to your point, it really is, it's not only embarrassing. It is, I think it's shocking, actually. I find it quite shocking that there's this kind of almost abdication of responsibility to the global financial community in a way. Maybe that sounds arrogant as an American to say, but I do think there's responsibility being the purveyors of the dollar, which does remain the single strongest connecting force in the global economy, to not have put forth some baseline guidance and promulgated some rules about what that ought to look like in a stable coin. It's wild, right?